China is a dictatorial, brutal state committing genocide on the Uyghur, slave labor in Tibet, and others, cracking down and organ harvesting of people like the Falun Gong and the Christians, breaking an international treaty, cracking down on people in Hong Kong, arresting them on trumped-up charges, putting them inside for a long period of time. It's taken over the South China Seas against the UN. It cheats on all the World Trade Organization rules. It's being taken to the WTO court. It threatens Taiwan on a daily basis. I mean, how much more do you want to know? This is a country that is brutal. So when she comes forward and makes a statement correcting her previous statement, which one do you really want to believe? In my view, I'm going to believe the original statement because that was said not under duress. Everything since then is almost certainly she's been lent on. There are lots of ways to lean on somebody like her, and I'm sure they've been doing it. They are past masters at it.
Hasn't this situation with Peng Shuai, hasn't it raised some quite serious questions about the International Olympic Committee's handling of it? I mean, they very much seem to be sort of playing down concerns about her disappearance.
What was the Olympic Committee doing, giving the Winter Olympics, for example, to Beijing? I mean, it's an absurdity. I'm told there may even be have been some gerrymandering in terms of the details over the original vote, but that is for a later release. There is some quite interesting documentation that evidences that there were some problems. But that notwithstanding, you know, they kowtow to China, and you'll see lots of American and British companies doing much the same thing. And China, meanwhile, is going to try and get a publicity stunt as the host of the Olympic Games. Most countries, the governments have now boycotted those games, including the UK, after a lot of pressure from us. But they have now boycotted the games, including the officials. No, China see this as a coup for them to look reasonable and nice, when in actual fact, they're busy literally committing genocide.
I mean, there will be some people who believe that the Olympics is always an opportunity in which we put differences aside and come together for sport. I mean, that is one approach that you could consider with China.
No, you can't. There are sometimes countries that are beyond the pale. You know, this is redolent of the Olympics in Berlin in the 1930s. You know, the whole idea is really an anathema. You know, countries doing this need to show that they are believers in human rights and the rule of law, and China does not believe in any of that. So it does seem to be peculiar. Yes, of course, you can, as nations opposed to each other, down tools or down weapons and join in the Olympics. That was always the principle. But the truth right now is that the Olympics have become very, very political.